Welcome to another episode of the Havenshine Podcast here at the Ken Walk Chinese Restaurant in beautiful North Providence, Rhode Island. I am Saximus.
I am Ghoul.
And top thing we got to talk about is, of course, Evo happening next weekend.
Evo's going to be super hype.
Evo is going to be very hype.
As it always is.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we are going to have, unfortunately, but we are going to have a Sunday showdown, so we might not have a chance to watch all the Sunday games. But the entire lineup, if you hadn't heard, is Street Fighter V, Tekken 7, Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2, Injustice 2, Super Smash Bros. Melee, Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, Blaze Blue Central Fiction, King of Fighters 14, and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I think that's one of the better lineups Evo has had in recent
That's a pretty
years.
solid lineup.
Really solid lineup.
I enjoy all of those games, like every single one of them.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be
even just
excited.
to watch, if not to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got both Smash games. We got 2 anime fighters. We got the crossover games in Injustice and Marvel. We got 3D and Tekken, and of course we got Street Fighter V, which is the big headliner.
Yeah, Street Fighter V is going to be the headliner for a little while.
At the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. It's my dream to go, but due to money and other circumstances, I haven't had a chance yet.
Isn't Evo like everybody's dream?
Pretty much.
In reality,
yeah.
like everybody
Yeah.
that plays fighting games, we all want to go to Evo.
We all want to go to Evo. Talking about that for a little bit, and there's one other thing that I wanted to talk about. We didn't get a chance to talk about it during the last episode because it was an hour long, and we after E3, and we had enough to talk about. But on June 23rd, GameSpot held an interview with a couple of the producers of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, with producer Michael Evans and associate producer Peter Rosas. Peter Rosas, you may actually know as Combo Fiend, who is an ex-professional Marvel player turned game developer. So,
okay.
Yeah, he's a pretty real deal. And you may have heard this already. We're actually very much behind the curve in covering this. May have heard the memes that have already come out of it. And GameSpot asked a lot of questions about, design philosophy, what's different in the transition from Ultimate 3 to Infinite, stuff like that. And the question inevitably turned to characters. And let's see if I can find... You're going to get a kick out of this. All right.
Yeah, I have not read this interview yet, by the way. And when I asked for the link, he told me that he wouldn't send it to me because he wanted to see my reactions.
Okay, so
this should be interesting.
So the question was, there was recently a link about the characters, and people picked up on the fact that a lot of classic characters aren't there, specifically the X-Men characters like Magneto and Sentinel. How do you guys feel about people being hung up on that? And Peter Rosas, the associate producer of MVCI, former pro gamer, has said, quote, "If you were to actually think about it, these characters are just functions. They're just doing things. Magneto, case in point, is a favorite because he has an 8-way dash and he's really fast, right? So our more technical players, all they want to do is triangle jump and that kind of stuff. Well, guess what? Nova can do the same thing. Captain Marvel can do the same thing. Ultron can do the same thing. Go ahead and try them out." Unquote. You okay?
No, I'm not. Okay, so we've discussed this actually a couple times before, that characters make the fighting game.
Yep.
So in order for... It kind of makes sense. So
On paper, I agree with him.
On paper, I don't disagree. But from a marketing standpoint, if nothing else...
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense. Like yes, okay, some people, especially pro players, pick characters for their functions.
Yeah, and there's a reason why Zero and Dante are all over the place at top-level Marvel 3 play.
And I mean, even still, pro players still start out playing the game, picking characters that they like.
Exactly.
So, I mean, if your character... What if Magneto is your favorite fictional character of all time? What if you wanted to pick up Marvel and you had no idea what an 8-way dash is?
And then again, on paper, I agree with him because I've been playing a bit more PM lately than I normally do. I don't play PM, but when I do play, I pretty much insta-lock Ivysaur. I have zero emotional attachment to Ivysaur as a Pokemon, but I just really like how she plays in PM.
Yeah.
And similar thing with Smash 4. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the Kid Icarus series. I liked Uprising, but I don't think the first game is particularly memorable, and no one really gives a crap about the second game. But I like playing the pits.
Yeah.
But just if you're gonna have a fighting game, especially a crossover style fighting game where the entire appeal is this big wacky roster,
like, why else would you make a Marvel versus Capcom game
if you're not going to include interesting Marvel or Capcom characters?
Exactly. That's baffling to me, actually.
Mm-hmm. And And another question. This is a really good one. Michael Evans, producer, said in regards to the X-Men not returning, and the process when it comes to picking characters for a crossover style game. He said the popularity of the characters factors in. X was one we had to get in there. A lot of fans wanted to see X, so we brought him back.
Which is true.
Then we talked with Marvel very closely about their future roadmap, about what's going to be happening. Your modern Marvel fan, maybe they don't even remember some of the X-Men characters, but they know some of the Guardians characters, or Black Panther. You know what I mean? Unquote.
You know, I wish I could forget these X-Men movies.
Some of them, are worth forgetting. But ignoring the fact that we had an X-Men movie come out this year in Logan.
Yeah.
But even ignoring that, the X-Men are just so iconic and embedded into Western culture. Even someone who knows literally nothing about comics will recognize Wolverine.
And what about the people that played Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3?
And
where like there are people sitting next to me playing it right now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they remember the X-Men characters.
But yes, I mean, I think it's obvious that they're saying such things because Fox, I said previously that Sony owns the rights to the X-Men movies. I was wrong. It's actually Fox. Fox, I'm pretty sure Fox isn't letting Capcom put the X-Men characters into Infinite for copyright reasons or whatever. And I can imagine why the producers would want to say something, but even just coming out and saying Fox isn't allowing us to.
Just say we're not allowed to put them in.
That would be so much better than no one remembers them or they're just functions.
Yeah, just be upfront and say, okay, Fox won't give us the rights to these characters.
Yeah, own the rights to the X-Men movies and to Deadpool, which is presumably why Deadpool's not in.
Yeah,
which is a shame.
That is a shame because that Deadpool movie was awesome, and Deadpool is an awesome character.
Deadpool's an awesome character. So yeah, Function versus Function Infinite comes out in September. So look forward to that. You can play as your favorite functions.
I have so much hope still for that game. Is it bad that I still believe
No, not at all.
Game...
It's not bad at all. I have hope too because the gameplay still looks like Marvel, but I want it to do well. But it's so
my biggest hope for this game is that it comes out and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Because the way it's being presented right now is just not good.
It's like Capcom took Street Fighter V, the launch of Street Fighter V, and learned all of the wrong lessons from it.
Yeah.
Because people were complaining about not a lot of single-player content, but specifically in regards to an arcade mode. You could remove a Shadow Falls, the story mode of Street Fighter V, and nobody would care because it was bad. And
just put it in an arcade mode, people. Just
put it in arcade mode, and then they are putting it in an arcade mode. I think they basically said that the demo, not arcade mode, story mode, and they've said that the demo that we have is basically going to be the first 20 minutes of the story mode. That does not fill me with hope.
No, if that's what the game is going to look like, because I've already stated my gripes about that demo, but if that's what that game is going to look like, I don't know what to do about it, because maybe it'll be mechanically interesting and on a player versus player standpoint.
Right.
But if that's what the story mode is, I'll just never look at it.
And in that very same interview, the producers said that don't worry, that there is going to be more to the story than just Rocket Raccoon saying one-liners while shooting Ebony and Ivory. I don't know. Considering the track record, I'm not hopeful. I want to be hopeful.
I want this game to come out and be awesome because I want to play a Marvel game. I missed the era of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah.
And I'm sad about it because I love Marvel and Capcom characters. So I want to play a Marvel vs. Capcom game. So I was hoping MVCI would be my opportunity to really get into the games. But if it comes out as poorly as it was presented, I just don't want anything to do with it.
No, that's why I canceled my pre-order, because I didn't like what I saw. And again, going back to the whole characters and functions thing, that's the complete antithesis of what makes a versus game a versus game.
Yeah, why make a versus game if you're not gonna show interest in the actual characters?
Exactly. And if you took Smash Brothers and just replaced all of the characters with the Mii fighters, no one would care because
Yeah, no, they're just Mii. Like, no one even plays the Mii fighters now, except for people that want to be interesting.
I do. Because I actually like the function of Mii Gunner.
Well,
but I'm the weird one in that case. Yeah,
but even still, like you said, you enjoy the function of Mii Gunner. You don't have an emotional attachment to
the character.
I
mean, I like to use a Mii that's based off of Curly Brace from Cave Story, but that's just when I'm playing friendlies. I don't use that in bracket. And like I remember after Smash 4 was announced, when they revealed Mega Man, I lost my goddamn mind because I'm a big Mega Man fan, and I was so hyped not only because it was Mega Man, but because Sakurai and the dev team went out of their way to make his representation faithful to the NES games. I think the reveal trailer has like 4 million views on YouTube. I'm pretty sure 2 million of those are just from me, just from how much I rewatched the video. And Infinite doesn't really have any of that. They have this huge legacy with these 2 franchises, and they're not doing anything with them.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm pessimistically hopeful.
Yeah.
If that's a thing. I think that's a thing.
If it's not a thing, it is now.
Yeah, I am pessimistically hopeful about Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. And like I said, I hope it just comes out and it's a really good game.
Yeah.
Like to just play, player versus player. Even if the story isn't great, if it's a fun game mechanically to play and it has characters that I like, not just functions, but characters that I like, then I will play the game and I will enjoy it.
Yeah.
But if it comes out as poorly as it's being represented, then I can't get behind it.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on from complaining about Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Yeah, we've done that for like 3 episodes now.
Yeah. So let's move on. There's some new content for Tekken 7.
There is some new content for Tekken 7.
What is the new content for Tekken 7?
Tekken Bowl.
I've never done Tekken Bowl before, so explain Tekken Bowl to those of us who don't know what it is.
It is literally a bowling game in Tekken. Like, there's no other way for me to explain it. It is a mini game inside Tekken where you get to pick a character and you get to go bowling.
That's the content we want. I'm not being facetious. It really is. We want fun modes like that.
So, like, it's just a fun, wacky game mode that is a breath of fresh air from the game. So you still get to be your favorite Tekken characters, but instead of fighting,
you're bowling.
Now,
the $1 million question is: if you're playing as Elisa, can you bowl
with your
her head?
I really hope so.
I really hope so.
Because Elisa wasn't around for the original Tekken Bowl.
Right.
So that wasn't a thing. So I'm really hoping that is a thing in the new Tekken Bowl.
Oh, is it a free update? Is it a paid update?
It is paid DLC, but obviously it's free if you have the season pass.
Right.
So I personally don't think actually a price has been listed for it yet.
Yeah.
But I do know it's supposed to come out sometime in... What month are we in now? July? It's supposed to come out sometime in August.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly how much it's going to cost, and it might be because I just bought the season pass, so I don't really care, so I never looked into it.
You've already paid for it.
Yeah, I've already paid for it, so I'm excited for it to come out. Along with Tekken Bowl, we're also getting a lot more content costume-wise.
Really? We get more costume pieces?
We're supposed to be getting more costume pieces with this DLC package. I don't believe we're getting a character with this one. I think
Yeah, I don't remember hearing anything about a character.
Yeah, I think that the first guest character that we're getting, because we are confirmed 2 guest characters.
Right.
And there's been a lot of talk of having returning characters from previous Tekken games, like what Lei Wulong and Anna Williams that we just don't see right now.
Right.
But it was stated by Harada himself that if we do get returning Tekken characters, basically his words were, "I will not sell Tekken characters." So if they do exist, they will be free DLC.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he
That's
said,
cool.
"I will not make people pay for characters that were in the game previously."
I respect that.
Yeah,
I really respect that.
The DLC plan for Tekken is beautiful. And we're guaranteed 2 guest characters with this season pass. We don't know who they are or what games they're from. But they are guaranteed to be guest characters from other video game licenses, and there will be 2 of them.
Video game licenses that are owned by Bandai Namco or...
Other video game licenses is the only information that we have. So I believe the first character isn't supposed to come until like early next year, like January of something of next year.
Right.
But the first DLC pack is Tekken Bowl, and some costume stuff. And
Okay.
there might be something about a stage or something, but I'd have to look into that.
All right.
But
Now my mind's worrying about what possible characters they could add. Like what some other
so there's a lot of
Bandai
talk.
Namco characters.
There's a lot of talk of what's his name? Kazuma Kiryu, I think his name is, from the Yakuza series.
Right.
There's the protagonist of the Yakuza games. I've never played those games myself, but I watched like a couple clips of gameplay just to see like how well does this character really fit in Tekken, and it doesn't look like. I mean, he wouldn't fit any worse than Akuma.
Yeah.
I mean, but we all know my opinions of Akuma in
Yeah.
Tekken. But either way, there's a lot of requests for him. I think he's probably the most requested guest character. But there's no confirmation on whether it's going to be Bandai Namco licenses or completely other collaborations. I did see a tweet. I saw a tweet from Harada. I'm going to try to find it. That said he was sitting down at a meeting with Arc System Works.
Oh. That could be interesting.
So I think I retweeted it. I'm gonna try and find it.
Follow him on Twitter. What's your Twitter handle?
It's just at xghoul, capital G 0 instead of.
Oh.
So it's X capital G H 0 UL.
And I'm Saximus, but instead of the first S, it's a number 5. So
Because
it's
we're edgy.
5 Aximus. And also because Saximus was already taken.
I'm trying to find it. I know that I saw it. I think I have a screenshot of it actually.
Okay.
Because I was so hype about it. But Harada he tweeted that he was sitting down and meeting with Arc System Works, which is a very interesting thing because do we get a Guilty Gear character?
Or a Blaze Blue
Or
character?
a Blaze Blue character?
I don't know.
The other thing is, Arc System Works is also currently working with Dragon Ball Z characters.
Are we gonna get a Dragon Ball character?
Like, this is all speculation. Who knows? Maybe we're not even getting an Arc System Works character, and he was meeting for maybe just a completely different game collaboration.
Having lunch.
But
we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. But the tweet said he was sitting down with these guys, and it was a picture of the Arc System Works logo. And I can't find the screenshot now, but I have it. And
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Speaking of Arc System Works, I do want to mention that there'll be a bunch of big games playable on the side during EVO. Dragon Ball Fighters will be one of them.
oh, that's neat.
And Mr. Wizard has confirmed that in the EVO build, future Trunks will be playable.
Yes.
So if you're at EVO, check that out and let us know how future Trunks is.
Yes,
'cause-
please.
Yes.
Comment on this video and tell us how good Trunks
Yeah.
is after EVO.
Yeah. I mean, of course, it is subject to change because, as they said, the game's only 20. They're only using 20% of their full power.
Yeah.
So.
Because I mean, Trunks is my favorite Dragon Ball character.
Understandable.
So he would be on my team in that game. So let me know how Trunks is.
I just want more information on Dragon Ball Fighters. I mean, I know it doesn't come out for at least 6 months or so. But
Yeah, something like that.
I want characters. There's so many great characters from the Dragon Ball series they could add.
Oh yeah. Going back to Tekken, for those of you that play it, if you're wondering what's wrong with your customization outfits, the color black has been removed from the color palette.
Why has black been removed from the color palette?
So the latest patch came out fixing a number of things. There was balance changes for certain characters, adjusting some weird interactions. Like actually Eddie Gordo's rage art used to be able to wall break, which was not good because that's really strong.
Yeah.
To balcony break and stuff with a rage art because then you get more combos.
Right.
But they fixed that to my knowledge, so that doesn't happen anymore. But some balance changes, stuff like that. They I guess also 6 milliseconds of input lag was supposed to be removed, which is like less than 2 frames.
That's still good though. I mean,
It is still good. They're working on the input lag issue because a lot of people are really upset about the 8 frames of input lag.
in Street Fighter 5.
No, in Tekken.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Tekken has
That's right, it
carries
does.
8 frames of input lag.
And I know that Capcom did it with Street Fighter 5 as an intentional design choice.
And I think that's what it is for Tekken too, because if you think about it, if you put input lag in the game, then the network lag in an online mode will feel more natural.
Yeah, I guess.
If you think about it, it's because like if there's 8 frames of input lag in the game, like offline, then playing online is basically like playing with weights on, essentially.
Yeah.
So that when you go and fight online with, obviously network lag, then it will feel more smooth.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I think to a degree that makes sense, but a lot of people are just really mad about the sluggishness of offline play. To be honest with you, I don't even, feel it.
It feels fine to me.
It feels like, to me, Tekken feels like a really good, smooth game. Maybe I'm just completely oblivious to the input lag, but to me it feels good. But a lot of people are really mad about the input lag. So the latest update was supposed to remove a small amount of it, but also, according to devs, there have been visibility issues pertaining to the color black on certain stages.
So, characters would blend into the stage?
Yeah, so it would be harder to see moves, stuff like that, and react to stuff because people would make custom black costumes, like jet black costumes.
Oh, yeah.
And blend into the background. And I mean, obviously, I don't think people would do it intentionally. Black is just a commonly used color in custom costumes.
Right.
So now, even if you go to the custom palette that lets you actually drag around the slider and make your colors, you cannot achieve true black anymore.
That's interesting.
It's always like a gray.
That's probably why, completely switching games, it's probably why in Rivals of Aether, probably one of the reasons why custom colors are disabled in ranked play. Because, if you have a character like Orcane, if you can color him the same color as, the moss on the Endless Abyss, you could lay your puddle down and have it blend in with the background. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So stuff like that can happen. I mean, I think, less...
What's your phone for something?
Yeah.
I just gotta look something up, sorry.
Oh, yeah. It's, less interactive in... less deliberate in Tekken, because I don't think people would actually do that. I mean, maybe they would. I don't know. But I think it would just happen accidentally, and people notice that if this guy's using a black costume on this stage, then it's hard for me to see his moves and react to them. But yeah, the color black has been removed from the palette, so that's why you can't make your costumes black anymore.
Interesting. So unfortunately, all of you edgelords out there, your edge has been dulled ever so slightly.
A little bit.
I'm sorry.
I am one of those edgelords.
Anyway, one thing forgot to mention beforehand. Eureka, fighting game developer behind.
Is this Fighting EX layer?
Yeah, the co-creators behind Street Fighter EX. And I think they're gonna showing something at Evo. Again, I know nothing about Eureka. I probably should have looked this up before.
So the Street Fighter EX games are 3D Street Fighter games.
Really?
Yeah,
I've never played EX.
That's what Street Fighter EX is. They're either co-developed or developed by Eureka, but with Capcom licenses and things.
Right.
So they're pretty old games, and they are 3D games with Street Fighter characters in them. And Eureka also has some of their own characters in there. But from what I understand, the new game that they're putting out, Fighting Layer, is supposed to be a new 3D game, which I'm excited about because I love 3D.
Right.
But it's a new 3D game using only their characters. So the Street Fighter EX label didn't really fit because they're not using any Street Fighter characters.
Yeah.
So they're using just characters from their licensing, to my knowledge. I don't know a whole lot about the game either. This is just what I read from the first announcement of it.
Yeah, and I'm looking. I'm sure you can. I completely forgot to look this up because again I know nothing about Eureka. But for an April Fool's joke, or may it not have been a joke.
Oh, that's right. It was an April Fool's joke that they're releasing a new game.
Yeah,
right?
and it turns out
But the April Fool's joke was that it was actually real.
It's like Adult Swim showing the first episode of season 3 of Rick and Morty on April Fool's Day. The joke is that it wasn't a joke.
Yeah, the joke is that it wasn't a joke, and that happened with this game, which I'm excited about. But I'm also kind of not, because Tekken's enough for me right now.
I gotcha.
I love Tekken enough to where I'll just play that. But I'm really hype about a new 3D game coming into the light, because right now
there's Tekken, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, Dead or Alive exists, but barely.
Yeah, and we do have Pokken coming out in the fall.
I'm touchy to consider Pokken a 3D game, because it's not a 3D fighter in the sense of sidestepping and sidewalking and being a 3D fighter. It's more 3D in the sense of an arena fighter.
Yeah.
Similar to the
Dissidia games.
Dissidia games, or even closer to the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm games.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because in the Ninja Storm games, the stages are really smaller. Because in Dissidia, the stages are
They're
massive.
huge. They're way too huge.
Yeah, they're absolutely insanely big.
I mean, I'm sure it'll fit better once Dissidia NT comes out. And
it's 3v3.
It's 3v3, yeah. Yeah, I remember when I would played a city on my PSP, I would always try to go to the smaller stages, like the Prima Vista, or
because those stages are huge. But in the Naruto games, the stages are pretty small, and that's the same thing with Pokken. Like the Pokken stages are tiny.
They are.
And then it's
But
so
it-
it's
but-
like
yeah,
the 3D arena phase, but I have a hard time considering Pokken and even the Naruto games 3D fighters, even though they technically are.
Right.
But to me, they don't play like the 3D fighter genre. I just call them arena fighters,
That makes sense.
and that could be incorrect, but that's how I refer to them.
Anyway, going back to Eureka, apparently the build of their April Fool's game with Street Fighter EX characters Garuda, Kairi, and Hokuto will be playable at EVO. According to Shoryuken, looks to be a mix of Fighting Layer and Street Fighter EX4. That's what the writer hopes that will be developed from the feedback. So there's going to be something Eureka at EVO.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm always excited about 3D.
Yes.
If it's Soul Calibur 6, I will be even more excited about 3D.
Do they develop Soul Calibur?
No.
Oh.
Well, Bandai developed Soul Calibur.
Maybe we're going to get a Soul Calibur character in
That is
Tekken.
the other thing.
Yeah.
That is the other thing. We might get a Soul Calibur character, and it is extremely possible that we get a Soul Calibur character in Tekken. I hope not.
Really? How come?
Well, I should rephrase that. I don't hope not. I hope if we get a Soul Calibur character, I hope they choose very carefully.
I'm not well versed in the caliber of souls.
So Soul Calibur is a 3D fighter, but it's a weapon-based game.
Right.
So every character in Soul Calibur has some sort of weapon to them.
Right.
The only weapon character in Tekken is Yoshimitsu. So my biggest fear is that they're gonna put in somebody like Nightmare, who has like a giant sword,
Oh yeah, I get
and
you.
none of the fist fighting characters in Tekken are gonna be able to.
Which is 99% of the roster.
yeah, are besides Yoshimitsu.
Yeah. I mean,
And Yoshimitsu is a Soul Calibur character. That's the other thing.
really, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Yoshimitsu's in Soul Calibur.
Oh, wow, I
he
didn't
has
know that.
been. He's been in both games.
I mean,
for, like,
I guess Elisa has her chainsaw hands.
kind of, but that's only in a certain stance. And if she gets even poked, even if she blocks a move, her stance goes away.
Right.
So she doesn't necessarily have the range, even though she has the range, but she doesn't have it consistently.
I guess get ready to pick Akuma
Or Eliza to have projectile.
or what's her name, Kazumi, and just throw tigers.
but
at
throw
everyone.
tigers at people.
Yeah.
But my biggest fear is that they're going to pick somebody that has a really long weapon, and it's going to be really strong zoning that no one's going to be able to deal with.
Right.
So, if we get a Soul Calibur character, honestly, I'm hoping we get somebody like Valdo.
Okay.
Because Valdo was like the weird mix-up character, like that sort of weird, creepy, you don't really know what he's doing character in Soul Calibur.
Right.
Besides Yoshimitsu, but Valdo was even worse. Because he has like those weird stances where he's like crawling around and doing weird crap.
Right.
So like if they add Valdo, and his weapons are just punch daggers, so he just has katars.
Oh, that yeah,
Which are like-
yeah. That's
they're like
that's
hand daggers?
that's
Yeah.
reasonable for a
Yeah.
game like Tekken. Yeah.
So it would be reasonable. He doesn't get a huge range advantage.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing with including a Soul Calibur character is make sure you pick a character that isn't going to have insane range advantage over the rest of the cast.
You know what I think? If they had a Soul Calibur character, it would be from Soul Calibur 2, and Link was in Soul Calibur 2, so Link confirmed for Tekken 7.
See, if Link was included in the non-Nintendo releases of Soul Calibur 2, there might be a chance.
Yeah.
But the only problem was Link was GameCube exclusive.
Yeah.
So, like,
I'm just messing around.
yeah, but Nintendo will never let their characters be on non-Nintendo consoles.
I mean, unless it's mobile, because they're getting into mobile games.
Well, yeah.
Or weren't Yoda and Darth Vader in Soul Calibur 4?
They were.
I'd play as Darth Vader.
That'd be so weird. I can't even give an opinion on that. Like,
You just imagine Darth Vader
In
with
Tekken?
the costume customizations of Tekken.
Darth Vader with a pool noodle and butterfly wings.
We have fun here.
We do.
At Havenshine in North Providence, Rhode Island, Kenwalk Restaurant.
The other thing that I'm thinking, I'm just theory crafting here. So Lars, the Tekken character, was in Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 2.
Really?
Yeah, Lars was in Ultimate Ninja Storm 2 as a guest character.
It's so weird.
Well, because Bandai develops the Ninja Storm games.
I know, but it's so weird to see
Well,
think.
Lars is also like super anime.
Oh, okay.
Like Lars is like the resident anime character.
All right,
Before
all right.
the inclusion of Claudio.
Okay, that makes more sense then.
But my thing is like Bamco has the rights to Naruto characters because they developed the Ninja Storm games.
Right.
So we might see a Naruto character.
That'd be so weird.
It would be weird. And if we got a Naruto character, it's either going to be Naruto or Sasuke. Just because.
I could see Rock Lee.
Maybe Rock Lee.
Yeah, I mean I love Rock Lee.
But like
so.
I just doubt we would see a guest character from that franchise that isn't a protagonist, like a main character.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll have to keep our eyes.
I guess we'll have to keep our eyes open. I did see another tweet from Harada. He uses Twitter a lot, where he was saying that one of the characters has already been decided, but not released. So Bamco has decided what character they want to add.
They just haven't told us.
They haven't told us yet.
Right.
That could just be Harada trolling because he does that. But like when asked, he said that the first guest character has been decided. They just haven't told us yet.
Okay.
So we should be expecting news on that relatively soon. And for all we know, they might never tell us. They might just release the character.
Yeah.
And then
I don't know. I wouldn't mind like those kind of surprises.
I wouldn't mind either because I have the season pass, so I would just get an update, and then suddenly there'd be a character on my roster.
It's like what Sakurai was trying to do with Smash 4 a couple years ago when he released Roy and Ryu, because they were leaked beforehand, but the day that they were officially announced was the same day that they went up on the store.
Yeah. That's pretty neat. Like stuff like that is pretty cool, where we don't know ahead of time and just release it.
That's a neat little treat. Yeah. So, do you have anything else you would like to add before we sign off until next week?
Not that I'm trying to think. I mean, we've complained enough about Marvel.
Yeah, it's been a slowish news week in between E3 and Evo.
Yeah, in between E3, we'll have a lot to talk about after
Evo. Oh
Evo.
Yeah. I mean, if we record next week, our next week episode is going to be during Evo. So
yeah, that'll be. So
Yeah.
There's one thing I'd like to add, and it's about Tekken, obviously.
Obviously.
But this, like, Tekken 7 was at Evo in 2016. But this year is going to be basically like a whole new game.
Because it's out on console now.
Because it's out on console now. And what that means is that the American players have now had time with the game.
Right.
Outside of going to arcades. They've had time with the game in the lab by themselves on their own time without having to travel or go to an arcade or just try and learn the game at a major somewhere where it's being held.
Yeah, I did not get a chance to look up the registration numbers for this year before we start recording.
I think it just broke like 1,000.
For Tekken?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Okay, I mean,
I could be
remember
wrong, though.
reading that, same as last year, Street Fighter and Smash have the most number of entrants, obviously.
Yeah, for the most part.
But I didn't get a chance to see how Tekken
But
compares to.
Tekken's a big game this year, and it's going to be like a whole new competition because Koreans are better than us at Tekken. That's just for the most part. We have players like me and JDCR that are just complete powerhouses.
Right.
And like you're going to see those players in top 8 at any tournament they attend.
But you also have a ton of new blood thanks to the console release.
Exactly. We have
Yeah.
American players like P. Ling, Anakin, just players that, like American players, strong talent, new blood. Like actually, I think Tekken 7 is P. Ling's first game, and he consistently top 8'd at the tournaments that
Really?
I've seen him at.
Wow.
And he's a Xiao Yu player, and he's like up there among some of the better American players. And he's been performing really consistently, and I'm excited to see him play if he goes to Evo, which I'm assuming he will.
Yeah.
But America is the Tekken talent is building, especially now that we have access to the game.
Gotcha.
Because before Koreans had it and we didn't. And I mean,
And the
obviously-
Japanese players hadn't, we did.
Yeah, the Japanese players
Yeah.
had it and we didn't. But it's the Koreans that we usually have to worry about.
Because Korea is esports.
Yeah,
They are the most esports.
they are the most esports.
Yes.
And you can call it an excuse all you want, but at the same time, it kind of is because we don't have as much access to the game as they had.
Yeah. But now we do.
But now we do.
Yeah.
So the competition at EVO is going to be a lot stronger, I'm hoping, from the American players and, the people that didn't have access to it.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to that.
So I was gonna say, plenty to talk about. I think the finals are gonna be on Sunday.
I believe that's true.
So unless they're in the morning, we won't have a chance to talk about the results.
Yeah, so we'd have to wait until the week after EVO to discuss it.
Right. Which, that's the way it goes here on the Havenshine Podcast. Anyway, if you're all set, I'm all set.
I think we're good.
I think we're all good. All right. I am Saximus.
I am Ghoul, and we are here at Kenwalk Chinese Restaurant on Mineral Spring Avenue in North Providence on Sunday. What's the date today?
Today is the 9th.
Today is July 9th.
Yes. And we'll see you at the next tournament.